right? The Portage County Police Department offers a new service to assist residents with disabilities. We have details on this new implementation.
Group on campus is screening a documentary about American migrant workers. We have live coverage of the event coming up.
Anyone traveling out of Cleveland can now opt into an easier way to get through security, making the process more efficient and more digitally friendly.
Bird flu is hitting millions of birds in Ohio. What the Department of Agriculture is doing to stop the spread, as KSTV News at 6 starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Hayden Cruz.
I'm Sydney Brown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the first Thursday broadcast of the semester.
Happy to be here with you, Sydney. Well, tonight at the Student Center, Kent State's Activists and Residents is speaking on a Peabody Award-winning documentary that was just screened this afternoon.
We now go to KSTV's Nikki Gajeski live at the event with more. Good evening, Nikki.
Hi, Hayden and Sydney. Yes, I'm live at the Student Center, where the Harvest is Shame screening was at. And before the event, I had the chance to talk to activist and resident Jose Salinas.
So the documentary Harvest the Shame is about what the agricultural experience was like back in the 1960s. People didn't really know what where their food came from, and so this was a great way of showing families back in the 1960s who the workers were that were harvesting
Screening of the
their
1960s documentary was a shortened version, where after that, Salinas talked about his own upbringing as a migrant worker's children and also his work with the Ohio Education Center. Following that, he talked about topics of child labor laws and the current condition for American migrant workers. Selena will then be joined by panelists for a discussion on more wider range topics. Right now, happening in the Student Center above me is a reception for the event.
I'm hoping that I can kind of give it a different perspective, a real life perspective. It's one thing to learn about these things in the college classroom, but put the stories behind some of the things that they've been learning in the classroom. So hopefully this is something they can walk away from and maybe inspire some to want to go into advocacy or working with migrant families.
For more on this story, check out kentstater.com for the complete package tomorrow. Reporting live for KSTV, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Well, a new tool for Portage County residents is rolling out in our community.
Sophia Elena is in studio with more on the introduction of communication cards. Hi, Sophia.
That's right, guys. The Mental Health and Recovery Board, in partnership with the Portage County Police Department, is introducing a new service to assist residents with intellectual or developmental disabilities and older residents in a time of crisis. First responders are doing this through the use of communication cards. This program came from the idea that having advanced knowledge of residents' specific needs can help officers respond more safely and appropriately in emergency situations. The communication cards functions like an ID, including important details such as guardians' contacts, disability information, effective calming methods, and triggers that may escalate stress. These cards can be kept hidden under clothing, ensuring safety while remaining accessible when needed.
Have officers and first responders know what they're walking into, especially if somebody has a hard time speaking, and let's say you have autism and you don't like being touched, and that's going to escalate a situation. If they know ahead of time that this person doesn't like touch, they don't like too loud noises or anything like that, if they walk into that situation, can see the ID card, they can take them out of that situation get them the help that they need.
Right now, all Portage County Police Departments are aware of the program. However, because it's still new, officers will undergo routine training provided by the board. During this training, officers will become familiar with the cards and learn how residents will use them. The goal? To ensure that officers can respond effectively when encountering someone using a communication card.
I think kind of like, again, that insight into what the dislikes, what escalates, what de-escalates, has helped officers in the sense of knowing what to do when they come into that situation. So it helps benefit the community because I feel as though people with that communication will feel more comfortable maybe calling 911 in a crisis emergency and know that people will respond in a way that benefits.
To get a communication card, residents should complete a form that is available on the Portage County Mental Health and Recovery Board website. The form collects all information necessary to be printed on the card. Once submitted, the card will be mailed to the resident or made available for pickup at the local police department.
If you know anybody that would benefit from a card like this, pass the information along. If you know that your family could benefit from something like this, sign up for the card. The more people know about it, the more widespread it is. I think the better communication there will be.
If you know someone who could benefit from this service, visit the Mental Health and Recovery Board website and complete the form. For KSTV, this is Sophia Lena.
All right, thank you, Sophia. Well, Kent State Theater and Dance presents Trial by Fire in partnership with the Kent State May 4th Education Committee. The show, written by Kent State Assistant Vice President for Content Strategy and Communications, Eric Mansfield, focuses on book banning and student activism. Trial by Fire kicks off education-based programming for the 55th commemoration of May 4th. Performances take place this weekend and tickets are free for students and available online.
Just on Kent Stater TV.
Kent State campus sent out an email this morning to students advising all classes before 10 a.m. not to meet. The campus delayed classes due to icy conditions in the area.
Instructors whose classes were canceled had the option to meet online if needed, and students can visit the campus advisory webpage for more information and the latest updates. Now, I actually had one of my classes get canceled, as I think many in the studio did. Some of us are in that same class somewhere, but we had to meet online today. But I actually enjoyed it, got to meet with my team, so that was nice.
I actually work from home, so.
Really?
Yeah, only for the hour though.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, how about you? Can you tell us more about kind of this winter weather we're having recently?
Yeah, recently we've been having some insane weather recently, and this morning was just another one of those days with icy weather. But now for more updates, I'm your weather anchor, Ryan Mead. This morning we saw some delays, but let's look at our forecast to see if we have any more wet delays coming up. And as you can see in the Ohio area, we have in Kent, it is 34 degrees currently, which is not too bad. It's been colder recently. In Cleveland, it's also 33 degrees. In Akron, Canton, it's 37 degrees. And then if you go over to Sandusky and Mansfield, it is 30 degrees. And it's overall about the same temperature throughout the Ohio area. And tonight at 6 p.m., it's 36 degrees. And over towards 9 p.m., it will be 34 degrees with a little bit cloudy skies. It'll be around midnight, it'll go down to 33 degrees, and be a 5% chance of rain. But tomorrow, it will be 25 degrees. It'll be mostly cloudy skies early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, and there'll be a sunset at 5:49 p.m. There'll be a little bit of some wind tomorrow. It'll be a 12 miles per hour wind, and the night it'll be a 2 miles per hour wind. And that's all I have for the moment, but be back later for more weather updates. Now let's go back to our anchors, Hayden and Sydney, for more news updates.
Thanks, Ryan. Ohio is the current leader of bird flu cases in the country. According to the Ohio Department of Agriculture data, highly pathogenic avian flu affected 50 flocks in Ohio over the past 30 days. Bird flu cases emerged in Ohio in 2022, but a spike recently occurred during the holiday season. Since 22, experts report over 9 million infected. The Ohio Department of Health says no humans in Ohio have been infected yet, and the risk to the general public is low.
If you're planning your trip to the airport, you can now use your digital ID to get through security. Cleveland Hopkins International Airport announced that digital driver's license and state identification cards in Apple wallets will be accepted at TSA checkpoints. Valid and readable license on an iPhone 8 or later and the newer Apple Watches are accepted. The mobile ID option is just one of the advancements to the airport. Their Terminal Modernization Development Program is set to start this July.
Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno is urging the Department of Justice to reconsider the federal consent decree in Cleveland that's been in place since 2015. Moreno argues that the decree, which was implemented after the DOJ investigation into excessive use of force by the Cleveland Police Department, has become an obstacle for officers to do their jobs. Moreno is now calling for a re-examination of the policy to ensure public safety and law enforcement effectiveness.
Protests are taking place across the United States, beginning in Boston and continuing in many other major cities, but only for one day.
Mayors from some of America's biggest cities are coming together to testify before Congress on immigration policies in sanctuary cities.
It was more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We know you work hard, so come spend your lunch with us at the Bistro on Main. We've been serving the community for 3 generations, only a quick 10-minute drive from Kent State's campus. Make your breaks count at the Bistro on Main, where friends become family.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
From across the country, we have more immigration updates impacting international students and sanctuary cities.
Here to share the headlines is our correspondent, Katie Waggle. Hi, Katie.
Yes, guys, we start with local updates from Kent State regarding immigration policies. International Student and Scholar Services sent out an email with reminders as they recommend international students to take steps to prepare in case they encounter a member of any law enforcement and know their rights. The tips include making copies of immigration documents, checking compliance with credit requirements, and also keeping I-20 records up to date. Now moving nationwide, protesters across the country gathered on Wednesday to protest against numerous actions by the Trump administration. That includes Trump's pardon to people convicted in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riots, executive orders on immigration, and the implementation of Project 2025. This comes as part of a nationwide movement of 50 protests in 50 states within a single day. Today, the Trump administration took action against the sanctuary cities. The administration sued officials in Chicago over policies that limit cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. The sanctuary policies prohibit local law enforcement from coordinating with federal immigration officials. However, the lawsuit alleges that these actions are deliberately impeding on federal efforts to regulate immigration. However, mayors of some of America's biggest cities are taking a stand on the situation. Mayors of Chicago, Boston, Denver, and New York City have all agreed to testify before Congress on March 5th. House Committee Chairman James Comer said the mayors owe the American people answers on policies that, quote, jeopardize public safety and violate federal immigration law. That's all I have for now. For more updates, you can visit our website at kentstater.com. For KSTV, I'm Katie Waggle.
Thank you, Katie. Emails show associates of Elon Musk sought to use a treasury payment system to stop the flow of money to U.S. aid. A source shares that an email was sent to acting Treasury Secretary asking to shut off all U.S. payments processing system using the Treasury's ultra-sensitive payment processing system. This happened 4 days after President Trump's inauguration. A source familiar with the exchange said the acting Treasury Secretary David Liebrick said he didn't think the Treasury had legal authority to stop authorized certified payments.
A federal judge paused Thursday's deadline for federal employees to accept the Trump administration's buyout offer. Before the ruling, eligible federal workers had until 11:59 p.m. Eastern to decide whether to take the deferred resignation offer. The offer allows them to leave their jobs but be paid through the end of September. Federal unions have strongly urged members not to accept the package. At least 40,000 workers have already accepted said package.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Hi everyone, I'm your weather anchor Ryan Mead, back for more weather updates. Let's see what we can look forward to this week in the Kent area. As you can see in Ohio, it's there's a little bit of disperse around the Ohio area. As you can see in the Akron and Canton area, it's 37 degrees, but in Athens, it's 48 degrees. And then you can look over here in Cincinnati, it's 46 degrees. Toledo is all the way down to 33 degrees. Columbus is right in the middle at 37 degrees, which a little bit is dispersed. And now in the Kent area, as you can see in Cleveland, it's only 33, but over towards Kent is back to 34 degrees. Youngstown is 37 degrees. And Sandusky is 33 degrees. So there's a little bit of variety around the Ohio area. And the extended forecast for this week, as you can see, today the high was 38 degrees, but the low tonight will be 29 degrees. It'll be cloudy throughout the day. Tomorrow, look for the high to be 26 degrees with a low of 20 degrees. And then on Saturday is going to be a weather alert day. As you can see, there's some PM snow showers expected. Throughout the rest of the couple of days, as you can see, it'll be 30 degrees on both Sunday and Monday. However, as we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, we will be seeing more snow showers throughout the forecast. But that's all I have for today's weather forecast. Be sure to check out kentstater.com for more weather updates. Now, let's go back to our anchors, Hayden and Sydney, for more news updates.
Thank you, Ryan. Allstate Insurance says it will pay out $1.1 billion in claims from the wildfires that swept through Southern California last month. The insurance giant said it was able to limit its losses partially by pulling back from the California market. The company is one of many insurers that have been canceling homeowners' policies in many parts of California due to the growing threat of wildfires. They are forecast to cost the industry between $35 and $45 billion.
All 67 victims from last week's mid-air collision between a commercial jet and a Black Hawk helicopter have been recovered from the Potomac River. Unified Command says all the victims have been identified and officials are working to return their remains to their families. Today, crews continued to clear the wreckage site and all major components of the jet before removing the helicopter debris.
The Cavs handled business in thrilling fashion last night. Find out the exciting details in your Kent Stater Sports Report.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Living seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports.
The Ohio State Buckeyes and Ryan Day have reached an agreement, and he will stay with the team for another 7 years and will receive a salary increase.
Good for him. Many fans speculated that Day could be fired after the loss to Michigan earlier in the season. But after the national championship win, Ryan Day put those rumors to bed. For more in sports, we turn things over to Anthony Leonardi.
Okay, now Anthony, what do we think about all this?
Yeah.
You had some thoughts before.
I think it's much deserved. Ryan Day, he brought that team to one of the most difficult paths to the national championship. So you know what? I think the extension is deserved. But that's not all we got to talk about. The Kent State women's basketball team fell to NIU last night by a final score of 69-73, thus ending their 5-game winning streak. Maya Babbitt led the team in scoring with 17 points on the night, and standout Jenna Batch was not too far behind, tallying 15 of her own. The Golden Flashes will continue their road trip as they head down to Troy, Alabama to face Troy University on Saturday. And sticking with Kent State basketball, the men's basketball team, after their dominant road win over Eastern Michigan, the men's basketball team returns to the Mack Center to host the Arkansas State Red Wolves on Saturday. This game could be a challenging one, though, as the Red Wolves entered this game with an 18-6 record, which includes a win against Akron. To win this game, I think the Flashes will need to be on their best with their top scorers, and they will need to keep playing that tough defense that they have shown us all season. And now we're going to take things over to the Motor City at Little Caesars Arena. The Cavs without their star Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley, corner three. What a play. You don't really see that too much out of him. 30 points for Mobley on the day, but the Cavs, they held some pretty solid control pretty much throughout the entire first half. Max Strus, let's take another look at that dunk. What a play by the forward. Now, the story of the second half, Cade Cunningham. He carried this team on his back with a dominant 38-point performance. I mean, absolutely great stuff from the young player. He's going to be a star for sure. But at the end of the game, the momentum seems to be going Detroit's way after this foul. Let's take another look at that. I'm not so sure. Cade Cunningham would go to hit all 3 of his free throws, but one thing I learned about playing sports is ball don't lie. Darius Garland taking his shot from the logo, and he's going to drill that one at the buzzer, folks. The Cavs are going to win this one 118-115. Let's take one more look at that before we stop this highlight here. Now, sticking with the Cavs, earlier today, they made a trade with the Atlanta Hawks just an hour before the trade deadline. The Cavs are sending forward Georges Niang and Karis LeVert, along with 3 second-round picks and 2 pick swaps. And in return, the Cleveland Cavaliers will receive DeAndre Hunter. Hunter is a 6'8" guard, and he will be a key addition to this already dominant lineup. That is such a crazy way to wrap up that trade deadline. Now, what we've all been waiting for over on the gridiron, the NFL Honors Awards are on Fox tonight at 9. And here are some of my predictions. I have the MVP going to Lamar Jackson. I know that Josh Allen is a front runner, but I think Lamar deserves it more. The Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's no doubt in my mind Saquon Barkley. Same thing with Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain. He has been a no-fly zone all season. Coach of the Year, the one in the Super Bowl, Andy Reid. Offensive Rookie of the Year, also an easy choice, Jaden Daniels. He carried that Washington team all the way to the conference championship. Well done, Jaden Daniels. And the Defensive Rookie on the Year, also going to be an Eagle, Quinyon Mitchell. Those Eagles have been so impressive all season. But that is all I have for you guys tonight. For all things sports, be sure to keep up with us on KentStater.com and tune in to Overtime tomorrow at 7. I'm Anthony Leonardi, KSTV.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Well, Kelly Clarkson is taking a break away from her popular daytime talk show to be a residency in the Sin City. We've got all the details for the show coming up next.
I got you. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
got him.
Stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake. Oh.
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
Could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Well, since you've been gone, Kelly Clarkson announced Studio Sessions, a Las Vegas residency. In a statement regarding the announcement, Clarkson said, quote, "We're bringing the studio to the stage this time," end quote. The show will have 2 runs beginning on July 4th through August 16th, the day before my birthday, and then again on November 7th through 15th. You can see Studio Sessions at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace.
How fun.
It's going to be so fun. Well, that will wrap up our time today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more stories of your community, visit KentStater.com. I'm Sydney Brown.
And I'm Hayden Cruz. Have a great night, Portage County.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Songs, even if they're bad, hundreds and hundreds of them, just to find a good one. Yeah. And then
I've been in this long enough. I feel like I know what I'm doing.
Knowing that you're basically like there and being
with that, but it has a special place in my heart. I grew up watching it so much. Have you guys seen